This is Lisa. Lisa is a nurse who suffers from sensorineural hearing loss and requires a hearing aid. Lately, Lisa's co-workers have noticed she's been checking her phone a lot. They're not really sure why. And no, she's not just taking selfies. Lisa is actually using an app to adjust the settings of her smart hearing aid to better suit her environment. In the ward, Lisa adjusts her settings to accommodate for the quieter surroundings. This allows her to focus on close conversations and measuring patients' vital signs. When she has shifts in emergency, Lisa makes sure to fine-tune her settings to suit the hustle and bustle. Lisa needs to be able to hear louder and more distant noises, such as sirens and orders from paramedics. So, what is a smart hearing aid? Hearing is a complex process whereby sound waves are converted to electrical signals in our ear and interpreted by our brain. Hearing impairment is very common, with approximately 5% of the population living with disabling hearing loss. Hearing aids are designed to make sound audible to the hearing impaired by amplifying and conducting sound to the ear. Hearing aids are used for a variety of pathologies, including sensorineural hearing loss, conductive hearing loss, and single-sided deafness. Traditional hearing aids simply amplify sound and may be able to change to a telephone setting. Program and volume are controlled by dials behind the ears that require wearers to rely on touch rather than sight. The primary goal of smart hearing aids is to make the hearing process as realistic as possible. They allow users to interact with their environment naturally, while the device's algorithms sort out noise and enhance desired sound in real time. They achieve this through the utilization of several technologies and a variety of customizable features. Smart hearing aids detect and analyze environments, and then quickly adjust to provide optimized listening. Users don't need to take them off to change their settings, as various functions such as programs, volume, and microphone focus can be controlled wirelessly through smartphone apps. Many smart hearing aids have connectability with various devices, such as TVs, doorbells, smoke alarms, and microphones. Many devices also provide voice assistance. The Widex Evoke was the first hearing aid release that utilized machine learning. Similar to how Netflix recommends you movies, the Widex Evoke monitors users' activities and preferences and automatically adjusts settings to those recommended for them in that particular environment. Preferences are adjusted through the SoundSense app for iPhone. The Starkey Livio AI was released later in 2018. Starkey was the first to successfully combine the features of a hearing aid and an activity tracker into one device. The focus of this device was to reduce risk factors for the hearing impaired associated with being sedentary and having little social interaction.
Effectiveness in clinical trials. Smart hearing aids have far greater noise reduction and focus than basic hearing aids. Wu 2019 stated that in trials, smart hearing aids outperformed basic hearing aids in speech understanding and localization measures. Older adults with mild moderate hearing aid loss are less likely to reap benefits in real-world study.
Smart hearing aids have a unique characteristic that speaks to younger people. Thus, it is easier to convince younger patients to wear them. It is clinically proven that smart hearing aids deliver better than normal hearing in noisy environments such as restaurant and cocktail parties. Limitations of smart hearing aids. It is very difficult for elderly people to use as there are so many technologies involved. It doesn't diminish the need for professional intervention. It can be expensive as it can price over $1,000. Battery life is very short, and hearing aids won't be able to counteract if there's a damage in the patient's hearing nerve. In recommendations, smart hearing aids should be easier for elderly people to use. Smartphones should be replaced with remote control with bigger buttons. Manufacturers should use lower cost materials so that it can lessen the costly replacement of hearing aids. There should be a health monitor in all hearing devices so that the patient can monitor their health, and the battery should last longer when using Bluetooth. Recommendation. Overall, smart hearing aids have many benefits but also many limitations. There is a need to create a more compatible devices for everyone to use, especially elderly people and children. Smart hearing aids are very beneficial to patients with hearing loss and single-sided deafness as they help the patient to hear sounds clearer.